You have family that can sponsor you. Get into the system, because when the immigration laws do change, I don't care what anybody says out there, okay? The estimates now is there's 10 million illegal aliens. 2 years ago, it was 12 million illegal aliens. Whatever their estimate is, multiply it by 4, okay? I think there's probably 30 or 40 million illegal aliens out there, but let's say there's 20 million, okay, as a conservative number, but there's no way there's 10 million. There's got to be at least 20 million. I say probably 40 million, but I'm going to call it 20 million people, okay? When they do decide to do something, whenever that time period is going to be, people still have to be processed, paperwork has to be filed, fingerprints have to be done, interviews have to be done. There is no way in the world that the U.S. government, with the deficits that they have, even if they pass immigration, can put enough resources into interviewing anybody, or let alone 20 million people, in a reasonable amount of time. You are going to see, when immigration reform passes, people waiting decade, or maybe 2 decades, or maybe even a lifetime to legalize and finally get through, just because of the sheer numbers and volume of people. The best way to, if you are here out of status or have a friend or a family member out of status, now this is my opinion, I don't know how it's going to end up working out, but I'm going to tell you that I'm usually right. Okay, I'm not patting myself on the back, I don't have a big ego, but I'm telling you I'm usually right. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, and the best way to try to set yourself up and to ensure yourself that when the immigration laws do change, that you're not going to be the guy number 20 million for 30 million in line, or the gal 35 million in line waiting 2 decades to get through to get an interview. The best way, and I've been saying it for years and I'm still saying it, the best way is to file something now, get into the system, because they're going to have to pick and choose who goes first and who goes last. They're not going to say 20 million people, come on down. And what you hear out of the politicians, what you hear out of the policymakers, out of the think tanks and everything else is legalize the people who are waiting online. The people who are waiting online, legalize the people first who are waiting online. The people who are waiting online are the people, when I say you're in the system, you're waiting online. So get into the system, get online, because that hopefully will put you to the top of the list rather than the bottom of the list. So what's getting in line? What's getting into the system? Getting married, even if you entered without inspection. If you entered with a visa, you'll get your green card. You don't even have to wait about immigration law changes. Getting sponsored in a job. Getting sponsored by a mother or father. Getting sponsored by a child over the age of 21 who's a U.S. citizen. Getting sponsored by a brother or sister. Even don't worry about, I have people come in and they say, oh, I don't want to get sponsored by a brother or sister. It takes 10 years. Well, right now it's about 8 years. But don't even worry about the years. You only want to get online. Don't look at, oh my God, it's going to be 8 years. I'm not going to do it. That's not what the point is. Point is, file it, be online, be in the system. You're doing it to set yourself up for when the laws change, that hopefully, and I believe I'm going to be right, that's going to put you in a better position than if you did nothing. I mean, think about it. Okay? Do people who do nothing get nothing? Generally, yes. People who do nothing get nothing. People who sit on their ass all day get nothing. People who stand up and say, I'm going to try to do the best that I can do with my life, and I'm going to do the best that I can do to try to put myself in a better position, those are the people who are going to succeed. Those are the people who are going to get through faster when the laws change. So we have to get past the why oh me, because it is why oh me. Why oh me? It's like the old man in Russia. Why oh me? Because I was born in the wrong country. If it's America that you want to live in. Okay, that's what the guy told me 35 years ago. He's probably dead now. I remember his face. I don't remember his name, but I could vividly remember his face because I remember that. So we have to get past the why oh me. The why oh me is just that's the way life, that's the way God chose it. Okay, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you have to be stronger than somebody who was born here in America. You have to be stronger than me. So I wouldn't be able to do what most of my clients have gone through. I would have probably stayed back in my home country. I wouldn't have left everything to come here. I know it's hard. It's too difficult. Okay, but I know it because I hear the stories. I don't know it because I didn't live it. I was born here. Okay? And the more stories that come out in the media, the more stories, when people hear, they say, you know what, that's terrible what people are going through. But what we don't want to hear is, why oh me? Okay? Because there's too many people in the world to feel sympathetic for. So what you have to do, what people have to do, and there's some people out there, I'm not saying it's everybody, but there's some people out there who say have the why oh me mentality and say everything is terrible and, nothing's going to happen. And you have to change that attitude and you have to change that personality and you have to say to yourself, I'm going to try to make a difference for my life. I'm going to go out there, live the best life that I can live under the circumstances, even though I live as a second-class citizen in a country where everybody's supposed to be equal. It's only in utopia that people are equal. But, and then what you try to say to yourself and what you try to do is you pull yourself up and say, I'm going to give myself the best opportunity for when the immigration laws change to be at the top of the list rather than the bottom of the list. Because when I'm at the top of the list and the laws change, I've got the rest of my life. And I worked hard to get where I am, and I'm a better person because of it. So that's what I think should happen. And do I believe the immigration laws are going to change? Absolutely, I believe the immigration laws are going to change.